So, what's it like being in a TV show based on the Simpsons movie?
We did it first. It was good, you know. That was a funny thing that like people made memes and stuff on the internet about that. So it was
actually I have to thank the Simpsons movie, because a lot of people that aren't sure what Under the Dome is, or people ask me, oh, you're an actor, what have you done? And I say, oh, the most recent thing that I've done is Under the Dome. They're like, what's that? So the best way to describe it is, I usually say, well, I use Stephen King, and I say, have you read the book or heard of the book? And that may trigger something, but if it doesn't, I use the Simpsons movie as, like, oh, have you seen the Simpsons movie? Yeah, oh, okay, well, that was based on, yeah, I told him. So it's a good talking point.
Well, I mean, talking about Stephen King, I mean, previous adaptations of his work have been kind of hit and miss sometimes. You know, for Green Mile, you end up with like a Maximum Overdrive. So did you guys feel any added pressure to kind of really do the book justice, because he has these huge legions of fans out there?
Well, he said this really great thing where he was just like, this is an alternate universe version of his book. He was like, if you love my book, you can pick it up at any time, you can pull it off the shelf and still read it. But with us, we were different. We kind of pretty much veered off from where the book was going by like episode 3, and it was just like we were on to different things and going different places with the characters, because we knew kind of where we were where we wanted to go with the show, and it kind of evolved. And rather than having a definite ending, we were open to going different ways.
Yeah, I mean, the book takes place over the first 2 weeks of life under the dome, and we quickly leave those 2 weeks and enter into the the third week.
Yeah.
And I think that we did have help from our writing staff, and Stephen King assisted our writing staff and kind of consulted them on things that worked or didn't work in his opinion. And so I think that overall he was still involved in the creative process. So he was very pleased, I think, ultimately with how it turned out.
Yeah.
Hey. Tom from the Problem Cast. I was just wondering, you said that you had Stephen King as creative input on the show. How much creative input did he have, and have you guys met him at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, he came in and guest starred on one episode, and I think
in the second season.
Britt pours him coffee, and he's like, oh, thanks, Angie, and he's just like a guy drawing at the coffee shop. But he was involved as a producer, and he as an executive producer, and he was involved in that way. But I think for most of it, it was just letting the writers kind of take it and go where they thought it should go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you want to ask some more questions?
Yeah, definitely.
Go ahead, yeah.
Cool, sorry. Sorry, guys.
Colin, your character had to grow up a lot during the course of the show.
Yeah.
He goes from this like kid to being like a young adult. And I was wondering, kind of like the show now, kind of wrapped up. Are you going to be looking for like more kind of mature adult roles going forward?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm definitely. I feel like I'm kind of coming into my own as a young man, similar to how we saw Joe kind of grow through the 3 seasons. And so, yeah, one thing I'm doing right now is I'm in the gym on my off time. I'm working out. I'm trying to put on some weight, get up to like Alex's size at least, and try to play those. Try to steal a couple leading man roles away from Alex's auditions.
So, if you had to be stuck in a dome anywhere in the world, where would that be, and who would you least like to be then stuck in that dome with? Who or what? Yeah.
We were talking earlier, I would not like to be in the dome with Robert Durst from the Jinx. And then, what place would I like it to be?
Yeah.
So ideal place, but with a bad person. Ideal place. Maybe New York, but that's like there's a lot of people, so I don't know. It's like whatever you think. How long are we going to be on there, hypothetically? I don't know. If it's like 2 weeks, I could be.
However long
yeah.
the Alien Overlords kind of want you to stay. I mean, Robert Durst might already be in New York if market?
Yeah, he might be there. New York would be a good place. Yeah.
I don't know. I really love London, but I won't say London. I'll say Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Yeah, Hawaii would be really cool.
Yeah. So then it's just lost. You're just.
Yeah. So now I'm with somebody that I don't like.
Yeah.
Or something that I don't like. I mean, I guess maybe the worst thing in the world would be stuck on an island, you know, being hunted by something. I don't know what it would be, but you know, just some sort of creature. I guess I wouldn't want to be there with any. I wouldn't want to be there. Period. With like anybody. I'd want to be either alone or like somebody I liked. I don't know.
Just you and a volleyball.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Colin, a lot of people know you from We Bought a Zoo,
Right.
which also starred Elle Fanning. Is it true? Did you guys go to school together?
Yeah, we did. Elle was in the grade below me. We went to Campbell Hall School in Floral Canyon in Los Angeles, California.
Is this some super school that's just turning out?
No. It's just a school that Elle's family was in Los Angeles prior to my family. And when we moved out, my mother kind of reached out to Joy Fanning and asked, you know, where's where's Elle and Dakota going to school? We want to send Colin to a good school as well. And so I kind of went to the same school. I was caught in between, like, Elle's in the grade below me and Dakota was a couple years above me. So I watched Dakota graduate and me and Elle graduated shortly after.
Hi, Sam from Podcast. What initially attracted you to the project? Was it the premise, or was it the fact that Stephen King's name was attached to it?
Yeah, all of the above.
Yeah.
You know, Steven Spielberg being involved, going through DreamWorks, and just, I mean, for me, it was my first big job, so of course it was just like, oh my God, this is the dream. So, but yeah, also just having people from all these great TV shows and great people in entertainment. It was just like kind of just an amalgam of great people from different worlds. Lost and Spielberg and Stephen King all in one.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
Follow-up question. Are you both sort of fans of Stephen King's work? And if so, are there any sort of projects that haven't been brought to the silver screen yet that you'd like to be a part of?
I would love to see The Longest Walk be made into something, because I just think that's like a really dark, dystopian, interesting thing, and I don't know, it's a cool premise.
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah.
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 Sorry, guys.
Questions are
Yeah.
good.
Keep them coming.
Really
Keep you
good.
updated. Sorry, I'll start. Hi, so Kareem from Metro again. So Alex, your dad was an assistant prosecutor.
Yeah.
And you've said before that watching him in court kind of really informed your kind of like first like entry into acting and kind of like gave you the idea of performing. And I was wondering kind of your experiences with this kind of criminal world, did that kind of inform the way in which you played Junior Rennie?
I would say no, not necessarily. I think kind of just going through school, that was, I went to school in Chicago and learned a lot like of kind of like how to approach character and investigate and get into that. And but I don't know, I'm interested by characters like Junior who start out as a baby like everyone else, and then goes to Junior as we know him now, and through psychological damage and everything that kind of Big Jim put on him, why he is the way he is.
Anybody else have any questions? Or, yeah.
Go ahead.
Excellent.
Colin, Google says that you're 178 centimeters high. Why do they know that?
I don't know. I don't. How many feet is that? How tall am I then? Am I 5? I don't know what 178 centimeters is. That's weird that they know that. I don't know.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any other questions?
That was a very deep question.
Very aesthetic.
Hi guys, my name's Nate.
Hey.
What made you two want to get into acting?
I always loved film growing up, and it was just something I knew I wanted to be involved in, whether it was directing, screenwriting, just being part of it because it's just great storytelling and being
Yeah.
in that. And, you know, especially as the industry is going all different directions, you're seeing a lot of these like big budget things that are doing really, really great, these superhero stories. And then you see something like Creep by Joe Swanberg, and it's like them going away for a weekend and shooting something on an iPhone. It's like we're really at a cool period now where these two worlds are competing.
Yeah.
And yet like Creep is like #1 on iTunes, and then like right behind him it's like it's like Avengers, and it's interesting. So it's kind of like a weird Wild West system now, which is fun to be in.
I mean, I always, from the age of 5, I wanted to be an actor. I told my parents that, and I guess what influenced me is I watched a lot of Power Rangers, and it just massive amounts of television on Nickelodeon and Disney, and I wanted to be an actor. I didn't necessarily know, you know, what that meant really at that time, but it's something that I always wanted to do, and I kept doing it. My parents were really helpful with, you know, helping me achieve my goals, and I couldn't have asked for better parents or turned out differently. I mean, it was great.
Excellent. Anyone else have a question, or can I keep going?
Yeah,
Keep going.
Okay. And I imagine, especially in your case, that this is a big role, it's one of your first big roles.
Mhm.
The question that a lot of people probably ask you is, how do I also pick up a role like this? And how did you get into this role? You know, how did you pick it up? What was the process that you had to get to here? Did you go to acting school? Did you?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
that what
yeah.
you advise people to do?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I think, studying is so important. And, I think a lot of the reason, a big reason why a lot of British and Australian actors are getting a lot of American comic book characters and stuff like that is because they go to school for training and they get it.
They're all European now, aren't they?
They are. It's like we're getting killed. I don't know. But it's good. It's always good to study. It's like, you know.
Yeah. Because I know a lot of people, what they're doing now is instead of going to acting school, they're trying to put their own indie projects together.
Yeah, which is also a
Yeah.
great thing. Yeah.
So would you possibly say it's best to try and do as much as you can, you know, both those things, that kind of idea? I'm losing the mic.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say it's always good to go to school and to study, but you know, it doesn't guarantee everything
Yeah,
or
that's why
anything.
also
You know?
expressing yourself and doing stuff in your own time is cool too.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Alex, you've got a couple of indie projects in the
Mhm.
pipeline you were telling me earlier. Can you tell us a bit about those?
Always Shine is a movie with that I did with Sophia Takal and Larry Levine, and it's just like this indie film with Mackenzie Davis from *Halt and Catch Fire* and Caitlin Fitzgerald from *Masters of Sex*, and it's this weird kind of Mulholland Drive like story, and we shot it up in Big Sur last year, and that's coming out sometime soon. And then I just finished a film with Lena Olin, which was really fun. Yeah.
And would you guys want to? I mean, you were trapped under the dome together.
Mhm.
Do you guys want to work together again? Is there a project?
Yeah,
in mind?
absolutely. I think Alex is awesome. I learned even though it's like this is one of your first projects, I learned as an actor from you. So I feel like we bounced off of each other and became friends while we were filming. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it'd be really mean to say that we didn't want to work together again. I feel like you'd be lying.
It would be fun to do like a
Fun to do
war movie.
Yeah, I was gonna
Like,
say
that'd
a
be fun.
movie would be really fun to do together. Yeah.
So Saving Private Ryan 2 or something.
And so obviously, very sadly, the show kind of came to an end
Yeah.
recently.
Mhm.
Where did you imagine your characters going if the show had kind of kept on?
We were kind of told some things about season 4.
Some potential ideas of where we might go.
Yeah, Colin and I were going to supposedly be working a lot more together
alongside each other
in the next season.
So that would have been cool, actually.
Yeah.
As a follow-up to your other question.
Yeah. But I don't know. What can we say?
I'm gonna. You know what? I'll see. I don't want to say that.
Yeah, get like we were talking about this, and we were like, well, we're canceled. Like, what do we say? What's the right thing? So
Just make something up.
I was really looking
So-
forward Joe, I was looking forward to getting to play Joe in a completely different way than I had gotten to before.
Mhm.
Joe was such a nice, shy, kind of introverted kid
Yeah.
who kind of came out of his shell a little bit in you know, as the seasons progressed. But I
Mhm.
think that we were going to see a major change
Yeah.
in the 4th season if we had it.
Yeah.
That's cool. Oh man, the sugar.
It would have been in possibly a different location too. Which,
They moved the dome.
oh, the dome moved.
It's a
Yeah.
layer, apparently.
Yeah.
Tom from the Comic Book Cast.
Yeah.
You mentioned about like superhero films growing and being very popular in the media and stuff like that. Would it be interesting for both of you getting something in along those lines? And if so,
Oh, man, that'd
what
be
would you love to play exactly?
I think it would be ridiculous to say no. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
of course,
of course.
any franchise or superhero film or Star Wars or anything like that, like that's always like, I think a dream for like a young actor to
Yeah.
get into that like iconic.
There's so many cool people usually involved, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the cast is usually ensemble, and they're always usually A-list actors. I mean,
Yeah.
like it's always, you know, I feel like you would be a fool to not want to be a part of something super cool like that,
Yeah.
regardless of what superhero or supervillain or
Mhm.
whatever you're gonna get to play. But I don't know. I'm a big Marvel fan.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have
Marvel.
a favorite. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Spider-Man and Superman and.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be fun.
Any more questions? Yeah.
So, what kind of roles do you guys want to go for? Because are you more dramatic, comedy, action? What kind of roles would you like to see yourself in? I know you can't always get them, but what
Yeah.
would you like?
I like comedy. I would like to do more comedic stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I like drama too. You always want to do like a perfect blend of
Both.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, I have, you know, we've been working on Under the Dome the past 3 seasons, kind of been in a sci-fi mindset.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To kind of, you know, when you're preparing for auditions and stuff, to kind of get out of that is a little, takes some, I guess, hard work.
Yeah.
And, you know, I guess you don't want to be stuck, you know, playing the same character
Yeah.
over and
No.
over and over again. So you definitely want to make sure that you're doing, like, I don't know, consistently new work. So I think that just doing a balance of, like, everything is important.
Yeah.
Do you get less nervous now going to interviews and things like that you have some bigger roles under your belt, or is it still pretty much the same? You're nervous?
I feel like as at least for me, as I'm getting older, you know, I'm 19 now. I kind of went and I'm kind of entering into this new age bracket, trying to, you know, and a lot of roles that are written for, you know, a 19-year-old or played by a guy who's, you know, in his 20s already.
Yeah.
And so that can be really difficult. I'm finding that my amount of competition is increasing as I'm getting older and kind of coming into, I guess, Alex's age bracket a little bit.
You make him sound very old.
I'm ancient, so
The same question for you. Do you find it any easier going into auditions and things like that now you've...
yeah, easier than when I like first
Yeah.
moved to Los Angeles, but yeah, you know, I get nervous sometimes, and
Yeah.
especially if it's something like I really want. Then,
Yeah.
You know, you go in for some, you know, big budget thing, and you're just like, oh, look at the level of people who are
Involved.
attached to this. You're wanting it, and
Mhm.
yeah.
How long was it from the point you went to Los Angeles that you got the role in this series?
That was, I moved in August of 2012, I think. Yeah, and then when did we, like, I first met Colin in the audition room.
Oh yeah?
Like, yeah, it was,
He was on crutches.
yeah, he was on crutches, and we were both,
Purposely, or-
yeah.
Yeah.
So he was like
Hobbling around.
hobbling around.
Everybody can
and,
hear me. I forgot we did meet there.
Yeah, you were the first cast member I met. So that was in January when we finally got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many auditions did you have to go on before you got that one?
That was one of my first pilot auditions.
It's really cool.
Oh, really?
Which is, yeah.
Oh, that was very good.
I was very lucky and fortunate to But they tested me. I was in I think I had to do like 6 different
Test reads.
Test reads or
Wow.
something
Oh,
like
really?
that. Yeah, because I was so new, and it was just
Yeah.
like, you know, they didn't want to just be like, okay, this, whatever.
They did it right the first time, but it might not do it right.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
try fifth time.
Uh-huh. What else can he bring? Yeah, I don't know.
And what about for you? You started off obviously acting at a younger age.
Right.
But did it take long to get your first role in a film? Or
It definitely. Well, no. The first thing I ever auditioned for, I was very fortunate, and I booked. I auditioned for a woman named Joy Purvis,
Yeah.
and in Atlanta at Hot Shot Kids, and she was casting a movie called Sweet Home Alabama with Reese Witherspoon.
You were in that?
And I had a
that's so
small role in that movie that is actually cut out now.
no.
They had changed the alternate. They had an alternate. They shot 2 endings and they used the second one. And
What, with like a different kid? What do you mean?
no. Just like they shot the ending. Like it was like raining and like for like 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
And so they just reshot the end and they changed the writing
Yeah.
a little bit. So they just didn't reshoot my scenes. I was already out of town.
no.
I'd already wrapped.
Yeah.
But the first thing I ever auditioned for, I got.
Oh, yeah?
And, but I mean, that isn't to say that it isn't super difficult
Yeah.
to get something. You know, now it's a lot harder.
I hope they told you that you were cut out of it before you told
Oh,
all of
yeah,
your
no,
friends
I
that
didn't
you were
show
going to be
it
in
to
the
you.
film.
Everybody go see Sweet Home Alabama.
My
please.
5-year-old friends were pretty supportive at that age, but they understood. They understood that.
Oh, so we're talking 5.
I was
Yeah.
5, so
So you probably could have told them that you were a different kid in the film. They might not have known.
exactly.